Hi guys, I'm having one of those rare nights where I'm able to concentrate really well. It doesn't happen super often for me, but when I have a night like this and I'm not already in some kind of a competition, I try to take advantage as well as I can. Two ways I can take advantage of a night when I'm really concentrating well and not in a competition. One is I can just play and just have fun playing because I'm going to be playing well. Another one is just work on things that I feel like I need to work on or I want to work on. One of them I was just reminded of this by one of Tony's videos about the kick break in one pocket. I just put a rack up there instead of racking all the balls. But normally in one pocket, everybody I'm sure knows that I would break, if I'm going to break from here, I would pick that pocket and I would basically split the first and second balls with top right. This is the standard break and has been for a long time. Still the most common break. What? So I put a rack up there just to keep him from having to re-rack the balls all the time, and because this is a good way to practice things like that. The thing that I want to happen is I would choose this pocket, even though I'm breaking from over here, and you may as well call it, because there are going to be some people out there that are going to say, no, if you broke from here, that means this has got to be your pocket. That is not the rule. And some people are either really stupid or they're just jerks and they will try to claim that. But if you say, this is my pocket, you kick off this rail and back into the thing. You want to hit this rack of balls as close to 90 degrees as you can. Because the worst thing that can happen is if you come down here, because you've knocked some balls loose and you slide down here off the rack, you're probably going to leave a bank or a fairly easy takeout. The second worst thing that could happen is to come up here. Could leave a bank, could leave an easy takeout. If you stick the cue ball here and you've got some balls opened up on your side and nothing opened up on your opponent's side, I mean that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So 90 degrees. You want to hit this at 90 degrees. And I guess you get used to it, but I usually look at from this point right here to 90 degrees. It's about 2/3 of the pocket, 2/3 of the diamond. I mean, if I can aim and hit at 2/3 of the diamond, I could, in theory, hit this rack at 90 degrees, but I can't do that. No, without English. If I just aim at it, straight top English, A, I almost missed the whole rack, and B, it slid down. It didn't come in at 90 degrees. So I have to put a lot of left English on the shot. And that's fine. This is why I practice like this. I'm not going to master any shot by just playing it down here, but it's going to give me a decent starting point, a decent reminder, whatever. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to aim at the same spot, but have a lot of left English to try to get the cue ball, instead of coming down here like it naturally wants to do, to try to straighten up. And I want to hit that pack at 90 degrees. If you have one of those El Cheapo plastic racks, that thankfully we're seeing less and less of these days, you can even drive it all the way to here. Like pretend you're trying to kick the rack into the pocket. Although I don't recommend shooting it that hard unless you're really, really confident. But if I come into this same spot with a lot of left English, I've actually got a little bit of masse going on as well because I'm elevated. Still, see, I came in at the angle and I came down. If I had balls, I just left the bank, and it negated the whole purpose of doing this kick break. That is supposed to be, the whole point of this is because it's supposed to be safe. That's the whole point of it. Do it again. Maybe elevate a little bit more this time. Still coming down. See, there's a real tendency to sell out with this kind of a break unless you hit it right and come in at 90 degrees. If I come in at 90 degrees and hit it at 90 degrees, then that's what it's going to do. But the trick is getting it to do that from up here. The placement's not exact, but it's close enough. In my experience, I have to put a lot more left on this kick break than I might at first think. I can kick into the rack without any side spin. Now I could kick into it with right hand side spin. But I want to get that ball to stick. I have to put a lot of left on it. And like that. You know, finally, third time's a charm, I guess. But that's the whole point of it, of trying to do it this way, is it's going to be safe. Now, I watched a video by Tony where he was talking about it. He didn't really talk about what he's lining up for and things like that. But he's also one of the most accurate kickers you're ever going to see. So he's probably hitting it exactly where he wants to hit it. But normal people like me maybe aren't capable of hitting it that accurately. So I think the best bet is coming to it at 90 degrees. So let's look at an actual rack this time and see what happens. I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm essentially, well, I'm trying to hit the middle of the rack. So in this case, that would be the 1. That's all I'm trying to do. Just keep me as far as possible from drifting down here or drifting up here. And not so hard. If I was one of the absolute top players, sure, maybe I could shoot harder. But all I'm trying to do is that. I didn't bust out a lot of balls. Busted out 1. Now my opponent would have to deal with that. And one of the nice things about this kind of a break, I think, is that a lot of players aren't used to seeing that. And so they just usually just don't really know what to do, how to respond to that. And I don't know how to respond to it if someone does it to me a lot of times. I just try to get as safe as I can. And a lot of times, like this time, I'm frozen to the 3. I'm frozen to the 1 and almost frozen to the 12. I would be very tempted to just take a foul at this point, or start crying or something at this point. People have to think quickly, I guess, when they're in the middle of a match, your opponent's watching. And what do you do? What do you do at this point? I don't know. Every break is going to be a little bit different, even though in this case, I would have liked. Man, that rack I had on this table was filthy. We'll have to fix that. I would have liked to have moved out a couple more balls. But like I said, I did move out to 3. I did move out to 4. If the cue ball would end up over here somewhere, the 4 can be cut. Then maybe things can be broken out off of that. The opponent has to deal with things like that because the opponent has nothing. The opponent has nothing to shoot. So let's just say I'm the opponent now. I'm just going to spin the 12 and leave the cue ball up there on the rail. And he probably was trying to freeze it. But in any case, there's a shot at the 3 ball. And it's kind of a free, safe shot at the 3 ball. I can shoot the 3. If my speed is right and I make the 3, I may even have a shot at the 4. Again, my opponent has nothing. So this is totally free. Okay, I came up too far to shoot the 4 next. Do I have anything that looks dead? No. But I can still, I guess, kind of repeat the break, a little bit. What looks like it's going to move 1 or 2 balls and absolutely 100% tie up my opponent. So they're in the same position again. They want to cry. Maybe I try to control my speed a little bit like that. And I did not at that point. I did not. I wanted the 14 to come back and hit the 8. I did. It didn't happen. But again, my opponent has nothing. Nothing offensive. I only have 1 shot that's offensive. If I can get the cue ball down here, then I can shoot the 4. This is not a win the game quickly type of a strategy. But I think you can learn a lot about one pocket. Situations like this, where it is about quite a bit more than just who can run 8 balls in their pocket fastest, or the fewest number of innings. If I'm this guy, and here I sit, obviously I can play some kind of a safety. There's nothing really dead to this pocket. But if I leave the cue ball anywhere on this side of the table, my opponent's going to have another easy way to hit this side of the stack, maybe move a couple balls, leave me on the bad side of the stack again. Don't want these things to happen. So, in this case, I would love to be able to protect that 14. That's all I got. That's all I got. I got the 14. I can't shoot it now, but can I save it for later? I don't know if I can or not. I don't know if I can or not. Again, I'm looking at maybe taking a foul again to protect this 14 that's almost 3.5 diamonds away from my pocket, because absolutely all I have. Make your opponent have to play one pocket and not just shoot. I feel like that was a fairly decent return. It's going to be really hard for me to kick this 14 out of there. It's going to be really hard for me to kick off this rail back into the stack, because the cue ball could pretty easily drift up and leave the 14. So I feel like this is a pretty good return. It better might have been if the cue ball was an inch closer to the rail and stuck to the rail. But this is the one pocket part of one pocket that a lot of people don't ever play anymore. I'm going to move this 4 ball, which may very well mean that I don't have the 4 to shoot at eventually, because now all of a sudden it's tied up. Okay, I almost froze up this 415 to where they're dead. I'm this guy. What do I do? What do I do? Am I worried enough about this 415 that I feel like I need to mess with it now? I can't really do the same kind of safety I just did, because I'm not close enough to an object ball. If I tried to thin off the 12, send the cue ball this way, and back up, by thinning out the 12, I might move the 11 down here. It might get in my way. I might leave a bank on the 11, something like that. Because it's just all kinds of things that can go wrong. And in my experience, a lot of times if they can go wrong, they do go wrong. See, I don't like that 415 at all. So I'm going to definitely try to protect from that. Now they're not dead anymore. And, the tables have maybe, at least for one shot, kind of been turned a little bit. Now my opponent, who's this guy, the guy that broke, now he's on the wrong side of the stack. And he's got a threat up here, kind of a threat up here that he's got to deal with. And like I said, this is one pocket. As far as I'm concerned, when I learned one pocket, this is what it was. Nowadays, one pocket is much, 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 much more about it. Get a shot, run 8. Get a shot, run 8. Get a shot, run 8. Well, if you don't get a shot, it's hard to run 8. And hell, back when I was playing it, a lot of times I would, try to leave them a tempter. I don't want to leave them a shot that would make them think, oh, if I make this, then I can run eight because I'm a shot maker. I'm a 9 ball player, whatever. And they would try that shot, miss it quite often, and sell out. Or they would think, oh, if I make this, I can run eight. And they would make it and run two. And then they're in trouble. They've run two and they're like, oh my gosh, I got all the balls opened up and I don't have a safety because I wasn't planning on missing. Or I wasn't planning on missing my shape. And then they miss their shape and then they're in trouble. This is one pocket. This is not offensive one pocket. This is old school one pocket, I guess. But it can still be pretty effective, I think. Thanks, guys. After the comments here, I will go ahead and finish out this game and try to, put in some commentary and such for any of you who want to watch me try to finish this game here. The first time I've ever even tried this with this software. Um, just going to try to finish up this little game here. I do have an overhead camera, but it's at the wrong end of the table. My other camera broke. In case you're wondering, I could not have tried to bank the eight from where I just was. I couldn't see enough of it. It's just a matter of right now. I'm just trying to protect that 14. Well, when I'm that guy, now I'm the other guy, and I don't like the 14 anymore. So I'm the guy on your right. Just gonna kick into that two ball here, or apparently kicking into 11. I think I was trying to kick into the two and trying to move the two to my side of the table. But this is a little bit okay. I'm gonna look briefly. Can I go off the one and put the 11 in? I cannot. So but I do have a whole window. I can see this ball, and just go through it, get it out of there, get the cue ball up, semi safe. Balls are starting to open up, so I do have to start worrying a little bit about things like that. This shot right here, I'm just trying to go off whatever that is, the 14. It's in the cue ball, like right back towards the one, and I did not. I sold out that 11 ball, okay, and well, you'll see it's not going to be as easy as it looks because I'm 5'8" on a good day, and that stuff's out in the middle of the table. I'm going to attempt to reach it with the bridge, but I can't even do that. You can't see because my stupid big fat head's in the way. Anyway, I couldn't because the one ball was interfering. So I think I'm going to go to the other side of the table. Now I'm going to look at it that way, and then I'm going to go to the other side of the table. And right about now, I'm wishing that I was at Buffalo's in New Orleans where I could climb up on the table. But I'm not. I'm in Southern Indiana in my basement. Well, I guess I'm wandering around hoping that something changes. Now I can do that. I call this a Shannon Dalton because he's the first one I ever saw do this. Put one leg up on the table. Hey, I made the shot, which is astonishing to me. Of course, don't have a shot at anything else. I don't think so. But I keep looking. I keep looking. It's really hard to tell the balls there. But I have looks like the 9-4, and the 4 is dead off the 10. It turns out it was dead off the 10. I hoped it was. If I'd known it was, maybe I would have drawn back or something for some kind of decent shape. I just kind of hoped it was. As it turned out, the ball went in. It was a good shot. Didn't particularly lead to anything. I think I would have been better off if they had that ball hung up in the pocket. This I'm gonna under hit pretty bad. I'm trying to just go off the 8 back into the stack. Like hit the 5, you know, and I did not at all. Just trying to keep track of what's going on. I'm the guy on your right for this shot. I'm trying to bank the 1. The 1 is a bankable ball. I was fairly concerned about shelling out the 6 ball, which I did sell out. And look, if you look at it, if I had made the 1, I wouldn't have had very much of a shot. I would have had a cut on the 6. But I did sell out the 6. I just put it in. Shape's kind of automatic on that. I'm going to get a shot at either the 9 or the 2. Look at the stack again. I don't have anything dead in the stack. Um, I'm going to try to get a little bit better angle on this 2 ball to maybe break things out, but I don't come up far enough. Imagine if the cue ball had been closer to the line the 14 is on, I might have had an angle to break something out in the stack. I don't have that. I don't. Maybe in practice I would have slammed the 2 and sent the cue ball off the side rail and back into the stack and hoped I could get lucky. But I'm trying to play a game right here. So that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is just make the 2 and then get the 1 out of there. I would have liked to come up off the foot rail a little bit more to give myself a decent chance of making this 1 ball. This is a shot that Scott Frost had in one of his videos. Straight left, no high left, no bottom left, straight left. And with certain setups, I could have put the 1 towards my pocket and put the cue ball back up towards the 5 up there. I didn't have enough room in there to do that. I didn't come far enough off the rail. Now we're getting to so about this time I'm going to know it's a dead ball, okay? And this is a practice game instead of a super. So there's a dead ball. That 5 is dead, and I'm going to butcher everything. Now, because this is practice, and because I did not disturb any balls whatsoever, I'm going to shoot it again. So, if I hit that 10, that 5 is going in the hole. I'm fairly embarrassed that I didn't even hit the 10. I'm not a super good kicker, but I'm better than that. So I hit I hit it, and I said the 10. I meant the 12 apparently. Didn't leave myself much of a shot. I do have a shot at this 1 ball though. It will go. I wish I was better at slow speed bank shots. I'm getting better at them, but I'm still not great at them. And I'm going to miss this one as well. Didn't even really leave it as a super threat for my side of the table. I think I'm starting to lose a little bit of patience in this game. So at this point, I'm just going to just push through the 12 and leave the cue ball on the long rail. Or push through the 14. Man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That was stupid. That was stupid because I left a shot. I mean, I've been working on these thin back cuts, and then it's working because I made I think that was fairly lucky or unlucky, depending on your perspective. That I didn't get a shot at the 1, and potentially a shot to just win the game. This ball would go on a carom rail, 1 ball, and then in the pocket, but it didn't. And I knew before I shot it that I was risking selling out a bank on the 1. And I risked it, and I sold out a bank on the 1. Luckily the other balls are still all kind of messed up and stuff. I don't remember what the ball count is. I'm trying to kick and stick, and I need to work on those, but I hit that one pretty well. Of course, I wasn't playing this thing. Now, anybody watching this, because you can't really see the angle super well, this shot I'm getting ready to shoot right now, it will go. I have made shots like this a lot. I'm going to put a lot of right side spin on this 13 to transfer a little bit of left side spin to the 12. And that plus throw can make that 12 go in. It really can make that 12 go in. Obviously, I didn't make it right there. What am I doing here? I think I'm going to try to bank this, even though it's not a possible bank. I think that's what I'm doing right now. Yep, and I sold out the game as far as I'm concerned. Because look at that. That was stupid. If I do say so myself. I kind of wanted to hit that because it wouldn't go past the 10. So if I hit it, then I don't have to worry about it. I have two options for getting shape on the 8. Two rails with top left or just straight draw. I walked down there and got my chalk, which is because I'm going to use straight draw. And I think I can draw off the side rail and back down for the 8. And I can, but it's kind of one of those just barely things. As it turned out, it looks like I knew what I was doing right there. Now, I need two balls. I'm going to look at this two railer, and boy, it's set up pretty nice. All I have to do is go forward just a little bit, which is what I did. Shoot a stop shot, drift forward a little bit. If I don't make the 15, the 7 is blocking the 15. I don't think I'll be leaving a cut on the 15. And everything's great. So let's just put this in though, so I don't have to worry about leaving a cut. I hit that ball, well, as perfect as I can hit it, except I needed a couple more rotations of the cue ball. Didn't get it. Now, in this situation, there are an awful lot of people that would be just cut the 7 into their pocket, and then deal with the 15. But I'm looking at it, and that cue ball and the 15 are lined up perfectly to break out that 15, move the 15 from the rail. All I have to do is shoot straight between the 15 and the cushion, and they're both going to vacate. But I hit too much of the cushion, and I sell out the game. So that's it. That was how this game finished. Thanks, guys.